Hi, my name is Aidy Hughes, and today I'm going to teach you how to consistently play a pinch harmonic. If you haven't done already, please go and hit the subscribe button. And today I'm going to crack on with this lesson, which is all about driving consistency and confidence in the technique for the pinch harmonics. Now, the chances are if you're watching this video, you've probably already tried this out. You've probably already seen lots of other videos about the technique, but you might be struggling to hit the harmonics each time. So what I'd like to do is take you through the components of what makes the technique work, draw on some other techniques that you might already be familiar with, so that by the end of the lesson, you know you can confidently play the harmonics each time. So I would expect you probably already experienced and experimented with the open string harmonics, which are commonly found on the 5th, 7th and 12th frets. Now that's important to note that, because what that means is whilst there are harmonics all the way across the string, those are certain sweet spots where you're going to get a really strong harmonic. And we'll take that idea when we play the pinch harmonics as well. Another thing to know about these harmonics is that to get them, we need to touch the string really lightly. We don't really press the string down at all, we just gently touch the string directly over the fret in this instance, and that creates the harmonic. It's worth noting that we don't actually lift the finger off to create the harmonic, that only helps it sustain. However, if I kept my finger on it, it still sustains, and it will sustain more so if I had more of a push tone. The tone really helps this kind of thing. I've just got a preset on my Vox Tone Lab, but a really highly driven tone will really help these harmonics ring out a lot stronger. So really the three things to take note from that is that we've got certain sweet spots, there's a very light touch, and that the harmonic happens whilst you're touching a string. It's not lifting away that creates it. So in other words, you have time. You have time to relax when we're performing our pinch harmonics. Now the next stage on for that is to start drawing in the right hand as more involved in the technique. Now the pinch harmonic comes from two movements. It's a pick of the string with the plectrum, followed by a touch of the string with the flesh. Now a way to separate out these movements is to look at a tapped harmonic. A tapped harmonic is where you play a note, and then you touch the string higher up on the fretboard to create a harmonic. Now just like with the open harmonics, there are certain places where this is stronger, and you can use the same analogy of the 5th, 7th and 12th fret difference. For example, here I'm picking on the 5th fret and touching it on the 17th, 12 frets higher. That gives me a strong harmonic sound just from that same principles that we have from the open string harmonics. Again as well, I'm also very gently touching the string. I'm not touching that string hard at all. It's a very, very soft touch whenever I do it. If you touch the string hard, you cancel the note and get something altogether different. So a very soft touch is required. And the lifting off the finger isn't even required. You can touch the string, keep the finger on there, and it will ring out nicely. The lifting off just helps with the sustain. Now to turn all that into a pinch harmonic, we're just trying to couple those two movements, the picking of the string and the touching it, into one movement. And I could do it directly over the frets I just did it. And that would be a guaranteed sweet spot. Although the chances are you're probably more likely to play this kind of stuff down here. Now as you move across the string, you get varying strengths of harmonics. It's just a case of becoming aware of where you're fretting the string with your left hand and where you're picking with your right hand. Those two combined will give you different places to work with. So for example, if I change fret, the sweet spot moves into a different place for the picking hand. So you do need to become more familiar with certain areas on the neck to be able to confidently hit it each time. Now in terms of the technique, I'll try to zoom through that first bit pretty quick so I can talk about the technique. It's a bit of a misconception that this is a pinch, because there's no pinch involved at all. It is that two movements, a picking of the string and then touching it gently with the flesh shortly afterwards. And the way we do that is we pick through the string with a downward motion, and then we touch the string just with the side of the thumb. It's the little fleshy part beside your nail. It's not with the top part of your thumb, it's not near the knuckle, it's just the little fleshy part just beside the thumbnail. And that's the part that needs to contact the string after you've picked it. Now, like earlier, we need to make sure this is a soft touch. We really don't want to be grabbing the string and picking hard on it. And you can look into all sorts of ways of angling your pick to get certain styles and things, but really it's more about that contact with the string really gently. So a good little way of just developing that feel, because the feel is all important for this type of thing. You're not going to be looking at your hand very much whilst you're doing this kind of stuff. It's just to pop your pick down, get your normal picking position, and just brush the string gently with the side of your thumb, just to get used to the feel of what a harmonic will feel like when you play it. It's a very gentle touch. If you find yourself picking it, then you're not doing it right. It needs to be a very gentle, just stroking the string. It's a brush. After you brush the string, you're moving your thumb away, which would allow the harmonic to sustain. Now, your hand position for this will matter a lot. So for most people, they pick probably with their thumb parallel to the strings. So if you're holding your pick, so this hand was the strings, your thumb is most likely going to be parallel for most people. Some people pick with a bit more of an angle, so if you're doing the sort of 80s or Eddie Van Halen style quick picking, you'll have more of a wrist flexion type technique. And that's fine, but when it comes to this technique, you will need to come close to the strings. And really what we want to do is get our thumb as close to strings as possible, so that when the pick passes through, then the thumb can then hit the strings. And a good way of doing that is to almost getting behind the string, so taking the palm of the hand or the wrist and putting it really close into the guitar, so that when we're picking, we're almost picking out and away from the strings. That'll allow the pick to go through and clear the string beneath it, and it will allow your thumb to also come through, touch the string, and also clear the string beneath it. If you like the Troy Grady stuff, that's also known as like an escape route or escape picking motion, which happens a lot during alternate picking. But in this instance, we're slightly changing the wrist position and things just to get us into that angle where we can pick through the string and then come through with the thumb afterwards. And that will allow the pick to come through. So on the guitar, what that means is getting your wrist nice and close to the body of the guitar. It doesn't necessarily have to be completely flat, but you know, it doesn't really make a difference as long as it's close and giving you that angle. The one you're striking through the string, your pick automatically moves away from the body of the guitar, allowing your thumb to come through and just brush the string after it. And it is just a brush. You don't want to really pinch in or anything like that. It's just brushing that string. And you can see that's a really consistent harmonic I'm now getting, regardless of where I pick it. So yes, it is certain sweet spots is important, but I'm always getting it because I'm in that area and using that picking motion. And just again, if you're using that kind of more of a sort of 80s sort of picking style, which is really cool, you're going to have to come in just for this technique to bring your thumb closer in so you can get those nice harmonics ringing out. So just to recap, there are certain sweet spots that you need to work on. In order for the technique to work, you need to be really soft on the string. You're not grabbing the string. It's got nothing to do with, what angle your pick is and that sort of thing. That can help, but it's not really all about that. It's about picking the string and then gently brushing it with your thumb afterwards. So it's about getting that soft touch, which you can do just by exercising, just by brushing the string with your thumb if you don't have the pick in your hand. And then moving the thumb away so you've got the clearance to allow it to sustain. You don't want to be kind of sticking on it and grabbing it because it won't ring out so much. Once you've got that, then it's just a case of trying to find a few favourite places that you can always rely on. So you'll be used to playing harmonics in certain zones of the neck. Otherwise, you can just go for it because you're always going to get one. It'll just be of different qualities. But it's a lot of fun, and it's something that if you understand where the technique comes from, you can confidently apply this technique. I hope that's been really useful to you. If you liked it, or if you have any other tips on the technique, please hit the like button and leave a comment below. Otherwise, please hit the subscribe button, and I should do another lesson very soon. Take care for now.